Lesson of the Week with yours truly, Sean Thunder Wallace. I'm a performer, composer, and professor of music at The Ohio State University. This weekly program is designed to inspire and inform the serious music student. We're all students here, so join me on the path of discovery as we learn together.
Started working on some around the horn stuff again.
Okay.
So I'm having trouble on, for instance, something like this where you have these jumps. Like my G's are really terrible for jumping around on. And I was wondering if you had any advice for like embouchure stuff to deal with. Like I'm fine down here and at the end, but like that one range, like the middle of the horn, I just can't like get smooth transitions that are clean.
Okay. How much harmonic series stuff do you work on?
Nothing other than Altissim though.
Okay. So you should go through and work out just harmonic series stuff.
Just like jumping around the
Doing that. I mean, first thing would be here. First thing would be this. Because when you're doing it, you don't want to have to move your mouth, and dropping your jaw and all
that's
that.
what I've been having to do.
Yeah. And
Which ones are showing?
and then part of it is like air support. Air support. So, but you have to learn how to be able to support something without the note cracking. Because lower notes require more volume of air, but not as much airspeed. So you still want to put air through the instrument, but the air has to be slower, or else the note will crack.
I've been having difficulty with just low notes too.
Yeah. And when's the last time you got your horn checked for leaks?
Too low.
Yeah. So some of it is probably the horn, and you've learned how to adjust to the horn. But then when you start to do stuff like this, it says no, you have to get your money back. All right. So that's probably part of it. That might be a bigger chunk of it than you think it is. But then harmonic series stuff like I'm trying as hard as I can not to move this, all around. And I'm sure it's probably moving just a little bit, but if there's a difference between there's a difference between that and and it's not the easiest thing to do. I'd start working on a lot of that kind of stuff. And then to make it more interesting, you can throw in like all the false fingering stuff, because all that stuff is going to help too, throw some of that stuff in there, which will make that more interesting, so you're not getting bored We're sitting around just playing a bunch of harmonic series, squeaks all the time. But those would be the two things. And then when you're playing anything, make sure that you're able to play a full tone on the bottom, as opposed, because sometimes in jazz we get used to subtoning the low notes all the time, because a lot of it requires that kind of sound.
Yeah,
So
kind of doing it.
right, and so you want to be able to play, a full sound. Like if I was playing classical, this is one thing that's good about practicing a lot of classical repertoire, is that no subtoning. There's no subtoning. So you have to be able to play, a full tone at soft volume. Full tone at soft volume, and with a good sound and tune and everything else. So when you're practicing your scales, practice your scales at different volumes. Don't just practice them loud. Don't just practice them soft. Practice them at a variety of volumes, and just make sure that you're not subtoning when you're playing, especially in the lower range. You've just learned some bad habits. And part of it is probably, like I said, part of it is probably the horn. Because that's why I'm playing on this horn and not on the other horn, is because there's so many leaks in the other horn that I couldn't get a full tone at a soft volume, at any volume actually. After a certain point, I just couldn't do it anymore. So, I was like, well, and I still haven't sent it back. I got to send it to him. I'm gonna be able to fix it, but yeah. So anyhow, that's that. Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay, so just try to throw that stuff into the mix. See how that helps.